I do like his interviews, by the way. The
Campbell?
first overall pick, right? If you could describe yourself in one word, how would you? Nasty. My job is to protect the quarterback. I love getting down and nasty in the trenches. I'm just out there pass setting, trying to protect my quarterback. Like that gets me going, right? You love offensive linemen.
All right, wait up. How many times have you been practicing that
No,
accent?
I just made it up just real quick. It's like you and the Bill Belichick impersonations. How many times you're in the mirror just I mean, come on.
I sat in front of him for 12 years and watched him pick his nose and shit.
You did, yeah.
I could tell you his habits from everything. Just
Yeah,
as
I know.
You could.
Isn't that it? It's attractive, isn't it?
But you didn't sit next to Campbell for 12 years.
No, I just listened to him,
and then you practiced a couple times.
No,
once.
You just
practiced once.
It's all about watching.
You recorded yourself once doing it.
No, never did that.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't think I did.
Yes, you did.
No, Jules, I think I'm
my
just pretty
bad.
good at
Let's get
improv.
This is a friendly episode, all right? We don't need to be throwing haymakers at each other.
Welcome to Dudes on Dudes. I'm Julian Edelman.
I'm Rob Gronkowski.
And this is a show where your favorite dudes get to talk about their favorite dudes.
And today we're joined by one of our favorite pals of all time, Rob Ninkovich.
Hey, thank you for having me, guys. I'm happy to be here.
What are we talking about today?
Ninko visiting Coach Bill Belichick at Chapel Hill.
The challenge is probably going to be trying to get the most out of a less talented roster.
Chapel Nink.
One of my favorite dudes of all time. Just a tough quarterback.
Gritty.
Now an ace in the broadcasting booth.
Ace. Our takes for the Patriots' upcoming season and their offseason.
It doesn't mean you're going to gel as a team when you bring in that many free agents.
I think they're 9-10 win team.
And then we wrap it up by finding out what kind of dude Ninko is in this week's Chillest Dude of the Week, presented by our favorite beer, Coors Light.
Gotta stick around to the end.
Dudes on Dudes is a production of iHeartRadio.
What is this? Who is this Ninkovich that we're encountering right now? This isn't the real Ninkovich.
It's 2025, bro.
I'm loving this Ninkovich
I know.
so far, man.
I know.
He always has a new gimmick, a new scheme.
Something.
Yeah.
He's a new Ninko
like
every single time I see him. It's been a while. It's been
I'll
like
tell
2
you what,
months, and this is the most calm and cool and collective I've ever seen him.
It's the most calm.
And I love it. He's trying to talk, and we just keep interrupting him. Like he always interrupt us.
Fucking interrupt me again. I'm gonna throw you off the
We're
balcony.
talking, okay, Ninko? We're talking over
this
here.
This is starting to bring memories up. This is bringing the memories of how it was in the locker room.
Yes.
Ninko tried to talk. No one let him talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
well, we should probably introduce him first before we
rolling,
start introducing.
Well, today we are joined by another good friend.
Great friend.
And another really great teammate.
A good fellow.
That's why I bust your balls so much on social media.
Hey, we'll get to that.
If I didn't like you,
relax.
I wouldn't
We're
do that.
introducing you right now.
We're introducing you, please.
Relax. You can bust our balls. Don't worry. But let us praise you.
He's a 2-time Super Bowl winning champion.
Yeah, because we made such great catches.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, he did have some great sacks as well.
Made some sacks, he did. Set some edges.
Oh, he's getting frustrated over there. We're taking all the credit.
I'm relaxed right now.
Yeah.
Very zen.
All right. Well, what you said 2-time Super Bowl
champ.
Member of the Patriots All-Dynasty team.
He's a Purdue Boilermaker.
Yeah, he's always.
Do you know what a Boilermaker is?
It has something legend. He's a legend from Purdue. Rob Ninkovich, welcome to.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys.
We're so excited to have you.
Happy to be on the dudes on dudes. You know, just double fisting it all the time. You two.
Well, we wanted another dude on a dude.
That's right.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Dudes
on
complete
dudes.
the three-way
we
now.
could do this
Thank
show.
you.
We could do this show from P-Town. You know, take it on the road.
What is P-Town?
Provincetown.
And what's up with the Provincetown?
That's a great place. You guys go have fun there.
I love Cape Cod.
I love Cape Cod too.
Yeah, great beaches.
Beautiful
great
spot.
Beaches.
Yep.
Sharks.
There's great art in
Great
Provincetown.
white sharks.
There is great white shark.
Yeah.
You'd be a good meal for a great white shark.
I would
say
be.
you'd be
I'm
a big
tasty.
white seal.
A big white seal.
Wow.
All right,
that's right.
so what's going on these days?
Yeah.
What are you doing these days?
Yeah.
Right now I'm coaching my kids. So Everett's in his 9-year-old. We're in the championship game Sunday. So we're playing
coaching in what?
Football.
Okay.
All
Yep.
right. Yep. So
Flag football?
Flag football.
Awesome.
Yep.
How old is your
Olympic
kid?
He's 9. So we
9?
got Via's going to be 12. So we got 11, 9, and 5.
Jeez.
So we got 2 flag football players right now. So I have to pay basically Wyatt to go pull flags. He wasn't doing anything. He's just standing there. I was getting so frustrated. My wife is yelling at me. You can't yell at him. I say, yeah, sure as hell I can. I'm going to yell at him. So I said, hey, Wyatt, every flag you pull, I'm going to get you a card. So we got a couple Gronk cards. We got a couple Julian cards. Because after I said that, he turned it on and he was pulling flags left and right. So he's he's the one that I really got to stay on.
I like him.
It's real frustrating as a parent when your kids are playing sports, right? Because you want them to do great, right? But their personality, like Wyatt, he just doesn't give a shit. So he's just like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, okay.
He reminds me of myself as a kid. I like him. I like Wyatt.
So he's a tank. So we'll see how he goes. I don't know. He might be, Everett. He either is going to be like a dancer or a good athlete. So we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Hey, whatever they want to do, you're supposed to support
you want
them.
to do. Whatever you want to
Nico,
do.
here's a question I'm going to ask you.
Yeah,
I
come
asked
on, bring it
Matthew
on.
Slater. He was our first guest on the
Yep.
Dudes on Dudes podcast.
Yep.
And thank you so
Love
much
it.
for being the second guest,
Yes,
man.
thank you for
You're
having
making it
me.
easy for us. You relate to us like no other as well. And I love your enthusiasm and your energy you're bringing to the table. But I asked Matthew Slater because I'm the only one here without kids. Slater has kids. Julian has a kid. You got a couple kids you were just talking about. What is it like to be a father, and what am I missing out on? I want you to convince me that I should be making kids tonight.
Camille, we're making a kid tonight.
You've practiced and you're trained at the process of creating a kid. You just got to leave it in. Okay. And that might happen.
Okay.
But
technique.
For me,
Nothing to do with being a dad.
It's all about technique.
Yeah. Nothing to do with being a dad.
Nothing to do with being a dad. Ninkovich trying to be funny.
You have to leave it in.
Oh, you're so funny.
You have to leave it in. You have to leave it in.
Funny. That's a really funny one.
Yeah.
So I think, for me,
and you got to stay in
funny.
the game to win 3 Super Bowls.
You got it.
Ninko.
Yes, you're right.
It's like
So
the same
funny.
thing. You got to stay in.
It's just hilarious.
Imagine burning it. You burn it from both ends. Eventually, you're going to have nothing left. I feel like at the end of my career, I didn't really necessarily want to play.
We're talking about your kids, not
I
your
know.
career.
Because of my kids, I didn't want to play football anymore.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's some good advice right
yes.
there.
It's all risk and reward, right? So if someone was to say, here, Julian, I'll give you $5 to go in a car and let's see if you can hit 300 miles an hour, the fastest car on, like NASCAR, let's say IndyCar. We just had the Indy 500.
I was just there.
You were just there, right? Did you drink any milk? Is it whole milk, by the way?
2%.
It's 2%.
No.
It's
I
got to
did
be
have
whole.
whole milk.
It's
Yeah,
whole milk. And are
That's
you
why
lactose
I'm
too?
wholly grown.
Oh,
Are you?
Yeah.
You're lactose?
No. Hell no.
Oh, okay.
I
Just
love
making
milk
sure.
dairy.
This is an
Big dairy.
American guy.
Are you gluten free? Are you a gluten guy?
No.
I love
gluten.
big
You love
booties. You
pizza.
kidding me?
You're a pizza guy.
I eat
And
pizza.
you like
Kidding
burgers.
me?
I
You
like burgers.
You like buns.
I'm a glue guy.
Literally.
Love
you like
buns.
Yes, you do.
I like big buns.
So I think at the end of my career, I played 11 years. You guys played a little bit longer. What'd you play total?
12.
12.
11.
You played 11?
Yes.
All right. So I can ask you this. If you would have played 11 or 12, right, would there have been a difference in how you're living right now?
Probably.
You think so?
Maybe. There's a few more M's.
Yeah, a few more M's. But at the end of the day,
It was
few
a
more
bigger
M's.
contract in the back of my career.
Yeah, but
It's a lot bigger.
how
It
many
was-
headshots
We would
you
probably
take?
be in
How
the
many
penthouse
headshots you
right
take?
now instead of just on the third
You take any
floor.
headshots that last year?
They don't even hit
So
anymore.
the few M's.
They don't even hit anymore.
Yeah, okay. We throw on the
It's flag
Seattle
football
clip.
out there.
That was 15 years ago.
I know, but they all catch up to you. So
you
for
see,
me,
these
I just-
Vices helmets are freaking sick.
we didn't play
If
with
I
those.
could have kept playing, I would have kept playing.
We played with the helmets that they're banned now. You can't even put them on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Year one.
No, the last helmet I wore, you can't even wear anymore.
Yeah, that's you. That sounds like a you problem. I was
that's-
wearing a Vices
that's
for like
Tom.
10 years.
That's Tom. His helmet, he can't. He couldn't. Tom had that old school helmet. Remember how
remember.
big his helmet was because
Yeah.
he's got such a large head. It was like elongated, like a bus, because he has that like 2X helmet that he wore, and it was that old school Rydell. Remember the old school Rydell?
Yeah.
He couldn't even wear it. At the end of his career, he was grandfathered into wearing his
just like the single button guys.
Yeah, remember
They were
that?
Aaron Rodgers is
Aaron
still
Rodgers.
grandfathered into it.
Yeah, he's a meme now because of that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into
Chin
the
strap
hard-hitting
on the
questions.
nose.
We didn't
Yeah,
get
this
anything
is
to
too
our
easy
kids.
for him.
Come on,
Let's go Pats over under 11 wins this year.
under
Why under?
11 wins.
I know you're a
they
big
just
Patriots
had 4
fan.
wins.
Yeah, but
Let's be realistic.
new coach, new players,
300
free agency,
okay, so-
hit in the draft, got the
Wait.
tackle, got wide receivers,
Got the
defense is stacked.
It's-
Why
Wait a
under
minute.
11?
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying, like, let's be realistic. You think you're gonna have 12 wins? 12 wins.
12 is a lot.
They're gonna be a 12-win team after being
That's
a 4-win
that's
team.
tough. I'm just asking.
It is tough.
I
So-
mean, look at the Washington.
So I took the under.
Commanders?
Yeah,
Right?
Commanders.
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 Yeah,
So-
they did it.
You just so
All right,
my
all right,
thought
how about-
is,
how
do
about
you
9?
win?
Over under 9.
All right. That's more
I'm
realistic.
a 9. I think they're 9-10 win team. 9-10
So
win
you're
team.
going
Okay, there
over,
we
you
go.
going
11 is a lot.
I'm going over on 9, and I'm going
Okay.
under on 11.
Okay. You're
See?
right. 11
That's a
is
realistic.
a lot. That is.
So, do you think that you can win instantly with overpaying in free agency.
That's a great point because look at
they just spent $355 million.
Let's talk about
That's a lot.
The dream team, Philadelphia Eagles. Remember 2013?
Yes.
Coach Belichick always put them up on the board. There was so much talk about them. They were talking, oh, we're the greatest team. We got so many free agencies come in. And then they went 5-11 that year, 6 and 10. And they brought in that many free agencies. It doesn't mean you're going to gel as a team when you bring in that many free agencies.
Exactly.
But they're veteran free agencies. Vrabel's a guy that kind of, feels like you can gel them together.
He's a guy that, he's the glue guy, right? And he's one of them dudes. You see him in what's it, Forged in Foxborough now? They got the Forged. We're like building this thing up like our
every team has one
like
of
our
those
new
now, though.
facility. We're gonna build it from the ground up with steel and iron, and we're gonna.
It's good. It's good
it's
marketing.
great. It's great marketing. So my thought is, if you protect the quarterback, which is number one in the NFL, right?
I don't think you can ever overpay for offensive linemen.
No, but they didn't.
So like when you said they overpaid for a bunch of free agents,
how much did they
They
pay
didn't
for
get any
Diggs?
free agencies on the offensive
Did
line.
they get an offensive line?
No, they got Moses.
Yeah,
He's a little
one
old.
guy.
34.
Yeah.
And he's been around. Last year was kind of riddled with injuries.
Where did they get him from?
He
Where did
was
Moses
with the
come from?
Commanders.
Okay.
Yes. So actually, he was.
He's
I
Jets.
played against him with
He's
the
with the
Commanders,
Jets.
and then he went to he was with the Jets.
He was banged up last
You
year.
played
banged
against
up.
him. Is he
But
good?
they drafted
He's a very good
the
player.
kid.
All right.
They
which-
drafted, and I
Will
would say
Compton?
that I would say that all his
Campbell?
interviews, Campbell, not Compton.
Will Compton. I'm thinking about
I
what's
was
his
just
name.
on Bussin' with the
That's
boys.
what I saw.
Bussin' with the boys. Did he make that tackle, by the way, or did he miss it?
Well, I was on the sidelines and
Did he
kinda
push you
just
out?
pushed me out. It was like a gimme.
Okay.
It was a gimme tackle.
Okay.
But what was bad on his part is it was just a normal flat route, and I got 12 yards in the flat route. He didn't do his job in the coverage game.
Yeah.
No. So and then it was a gimme tackle. So
It's a tough. You on the sideline.
I was rolling though. I was fast back then.
Yeah, you were pretty fast. So I think you look at. I do like his interviews, by the way. The
Campbell?
first overall pick, right? If you could describe yourself in one word, how would you? Nasty. My job is to protect the quarterback. I love getting down and nasty in the trenches. I'm just out there pass setting, trying to protect my quarterback. Like that gets me going, right? You love offensive linemen.
All right, wait up. How many times have you been practicing that
No,
accent?
I just made it up just real quick. It's like you and the Bill Belichick impersonations. How many times you're in the mirror just come on.
I sat in front of him for 12 years and watched him pick his nose and shit.
You did, yeah.
I could tell you his habits from everything. Just
Yeah,
as
I know.
you could.
Isn't that it? It's attractive, isn't it?
But
When
you didn't
his
sit next
nose.
to Campbell for 12 years.
No, I just listened to him, and
then you practiced a couple times.
No,
Once.
it's just, you just
practiced once.
It's all about watching.
You recorded
and
yourself once doing it.
No, never did that.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't think I did.
Yes, you did.
No, Jules, I think
All
I'm
right,
just
my
pretty
bad.
good
Let's
at
get back.
improv.
This is a friendly episode. All right. We
Yeah,
don't need to be throwing
let's-
haymakers
yeah,
at each
come
other.
on, geez, I'm gonna have to jiff you.
All right. Well, talking about Bill, we got Ninko here and looking at that hat. What was it like visiting Bill at Chapel Hill?
Chapel Bill.
Yeah,
it was great.
I
It
was
was
Chapel
great.
Bill.
Nink.
Yeah, it was great. We had a
Did you
good
hit the
time.
bars? Did Paige let you go out?
No, I didn't do anything
All right.
like that.
Even being that
tracked
far
my-
away?
Tracked
Like-
my phone, made sure I was in the hotel.
Okay.
But anyway, it's for me, I feel look, you put a shirt like this on, you wear a hat like this, get some, maybe walk around, Comm Ave.
Tommy
maybe,
Bahama, baby.
What are you
right,
trying to say?
baby.
You walk around Comm Ave and what?
no, maybe just pick up a younger chick or something.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Everyone's so serious these days. I'm a married man. Freaking Paige, I love you. She's the best.
But I would go after you if I saw that ring on
So
you
how was-
still. I'd
how
be
was
like,
Chapel
that guy's
Bill?
looking
No, it was
so-
great. So this
good.
is my thought. I was surprised that he took that job. Right, I think we were all a little shocked, a little surprised. I think the challenge is probably going to be trying to get the most out of a less talented roster. The worst NFL team in the NFL is more talented. Let's just face it. Like you could have the shittiest NFL football team and you have a roster full of studs. So I think it's might be a little bit more difficult to get the most out of some of these kids that, let's face it, maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 are NFL caliber players. Like you look at NFL teams, how many NFL guys played on your Arizona team?
3 or 4.
3 or 4. How many from Kent State?
3.
3. So like every college team
4.
probably has 3, if 4 max NFL caliber players.
And some have 1.
Some have 1, some have none, right? Some have none, especially, if you're
Some have
Alabama,
8,
you're going to have
10.
maybe 8 to 10.
Got a lot
but-
of money at Chapel Hill.
Yeah, but you're going to have to bring in some talent. And I know that like the Big Ten, some of these big schools, they have to cut down on their roster because there's no walk-ons anymore. So they did away with the walk-on. So if you're from Carolina, you're Chapel Hill.
Yeah, they pick up. It's
you're
free
trying
agency.
to pick those guys up through free agency. So, it was interesting because there's definitely, you talk to some of these kids, you're like, how old are you? Like, oh, I'm 18. Like, shit, you're 18 years old. Okay. It's pretty wild, honestly. I was a young, I didn't redshirt, so I was young. I was 18 when I was in junior college, and when I got drafted at 21. So my rookie season, I was 22 years old. A lot of these kids, they're, red shirt, gray shirt, transfer year, COVID year. You got some kids that are 24 and you got other kids that are 18. So you have a wide discrepancy there of age.
It's a good word. Discrepancy.
Yeah.
I'm learning. This guy's smart.
Yeah, Purdue guy, 3.2 GPA, not bad.
Oh, Slate only had a 3.1 at UCLA.
I know.
3.2. This guy,
I'm pretty smart.
Super whiz.
They say Purdue's like the
Super.
Ivy League of public schools.
All right, next question. Played with Sean. You played with Sean Payton.
Well, I didn't play with him.
Yeah.
That's like, somebody said somebody stole Bill Belichick's Super Bowl jersey. It's like, yeah, he didn't wear a jersey. Like Bill's never worn. This isn't baseball where which is weird.
Manager.
Don't you think the managers wearing like a full uniform is odd?
Well, that's baseball.
No, it's baseball.
I know, but imagine Bill in a few uniforms.
The manager used to play though in the early
wearing a uniform?
1890s.
Hilarious. I know. That's
So
the history of it.
I thought you were a tradition guy, but getting back to you playing for Sean Payton.
Yeah, serious dude.
When you were there in New Orleans,
2006.
what kind of how was it? How was Coach Payton different than Coach Belichick?
My whole professional career, I was with the Parcells. I was in a Parcells tree. So
Who?
Sean is under Parcells,
Okay.
right? So the mentality there is very tough, right? Like he's not an easy guy, but he's very smart. He's a great offensive guy. He's not. There's a clip actually. We were playing the Cowboys in Jackson State because my first training camp was at Millsaps College in Jackson, Mississippi. Terrible, but we were playing the Cowboys, and I had I didn't hear the whistle, so I kind of tackled the guy after the whistle. They gave me a 15-yard penalty. I came off the field. There's a clip of him screaming at me, "Do you think you're worth 15 yards?" And I wanted to say, yeah, but I was like, no. And he's screaming at me. But he kind of is that coach that's going to call you out. He's going to make you know when you're screwing up, right? He's tough, right? So when I went to Miami, they had Cam Cameron on the terrible 1-15 season. They were awful in 2007, like the worst team I've ever seen in a professional sport, right? And Tony Sperano came in, and then Parcells was the president in 08.
Sperano. R.I.P.
Yep, Sperano. So when I was in the weight room, I was working out, and Parcells walks in, and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He goes, "Hey, you're that Ninkovich kid, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You remind me of a guy I drafted in New England, Teddy Bruschi." It's like, you should be an inside linebacker. So instantly I'm like, shit, I'm not going to be a pass rusher because he thought I was too short. Like he was 6'2". He liked those big elephant guys, the guys long arm, McGinnis, big dudes at outside linebacker. So I had a great camp, was outside linebacker. I make the team. I'm on my way home after Wednesday practice. They call me back in the office. I'm like, fuck, they're going to cut me. So I go into Parcells' office. He's like, "Hey, how old are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm 24. He's like, "You're young. I'm going to offer you a contract right now. You shake my hand. It's a deal. If you walk out, no deal. You're cut." So he's like, "I'm going to pay you your full salary." I think it was like $450,000 to learn inside linebacker on practice squad. And through 12 weeks, you can't leave. If you leave, you're breaking the deal, and that's not a good thing to do. Don't break the deal. So I was like, all right, screw it. I shook his hand. They moved me to inside linebacker. I had no freaking idea how to play inside linebacker. Hated it. Terrible. Off the ball. You got to wait. You got to tempo stuff. It was the worst thing in the world. So I waited 12 weeks. They moved me up. We were playing the Raiders at home. Ran down on 2 kickoffs. Had 1 tackle. Another was a touchback. Jeff Ireland at the time was the GM. Brought me in the office. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Hey, we were thinking you'd be like more of a Larry Izzo spark on special teams, so we're going to release you." So I was like, all right, well, first of all, I'm 6'2", 260, and I'm a pass rusher. Larry Izzo's 5'8", 200 pounds. So there's your number one reason that I'm not ever going to be Larry Izzo. So the second they cut me, I already knew I was gone because I had 3 teams claim me. Like they asked, like, "Hey, do you want to come here?" And it was like Buffalo, Cincinnati, in New England. And I was like, no, I got to stay here because I did that pact with Parcells. So the second that they cut me, the Saints claimed me, and I didn't even give them a chance. Because you can give a team a chance to bring you up or keep you up. I just left. So the next day, they were like, hey, where's Ninkovich? And they're like, oh, he left. So I just said, screw it, I'm out.
So when you left, they were planning to bring you back up since you got claimed. And if they brought you back up, then I didn't even give them
an option. You just don't even I just left.
You can give a team an option.
You can say,
really?
Hey, I'm going to get claimed. They can match it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So I was fed up with it, and I was just like, they weren't going to give me a chance anyway. Because
and then how did New Orleans pan out?
New Orleans, that sucked too. So New Orleans that year in particular, I was trying to get. If you are active on a roster, you get a credited season. So that year I was only active for one game. So when they brought me to New Orleans, they had two players, Will Smith, rest in peace, and Charles Grant. They both tested positive for Star Caps. It was a dietary supplement. It had like ephedra in it. So they popped. They claimed me, and I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll get, some film or be on a roster and get some time. And the judge overruled it, and they pushed it to the next season. So when I got there, I was a 54-man exempt.
Wow.
Yeah, 54. So I got my credited season. So if you look at my 2008 season, I only played in one game, but I got a credited season. And then Sean, after in 2009 in the offseason, he's like, the only way that you make this team is as a long snapper. So they moved me to long snapper, which I thought was complete bullshit. And then they brought in Jason Kyle in training camp, and I almost flipped over Sean Payton's desk on him because I wanted to kill him. When he cut me, I was like, you didn't know you were going to bring in a veteran snapper like 2 weeks ago? Bullshit. So then I left, and I got wasted on Bourbon Street. Wasted. I was hungover, and I was on the second hole golfing with a friend of mine, and I got the call from New England. The rest is history. So that's that story.
When did you meet Paige? Because I know you met Paige.
I met
when
Paige
you were
in 2000.
New Orleans.
I met her in 2006.
Where does she fit in that story?
She was at nursing school at LSU, and I was at a bar, and I just saw a little hot chick, and I was, walked up to her, and she couldn't resist.
Was this when you were on the Saints?
Yeah, I was on the Saints.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're still under the Bill Parcells tree.
That's right. Parcells. And then I went to
Paige has you
Paige
under control.
has me on the real tight whip.
Wow.
Yep. And my neck hurts sometimes from that. But anyway, the leash is short.
How did it feel to lose to Gronk every day on one-on-ones?
Now
that in the run game and pass game.
Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest, Gronk. Run game.
What happened?
The run game?
Yeah, what
you
about
didn't beat
it?
me in the run game.
What do you mean?
You didn't block me in the run game.
You never made the tackle. You might have whooped my ass and punished me, but I don't know.
Well,
if you
good
made
thing
the
we
tackle.
didn't play against each other because I didn't have to tackle my own teammates.
What about
just
the
tag
pass
off.
game?
Passing game, yeah, I couldn't cover Gronk, but it makes me feel better because he's a Hall of Fame player. And when you can't cover a guy that's going into the Hall of Fame, you don't feel so bad. If he was just a jag, just another guy, and he sucked, then I probably wouldn't have played as long as I did. So it was a good feeling knowing that guy panned out to be a really good player.
No.
His rookie season, I was like, dude, I suck. Like maybe I need to not play in the NFL anymore. But he happened to be the Gronk.
Yeah.
So,
thank you, Ninko. That was very sweet of you. But for real, one-on-one, Ninko is one of the hardest defenders to block. It's probably because of your leverage. What are you, 6'3"?
Yeah.
6'3", 265.
Yeah,
I'm 6'6". I'm long at 260.
He's long. He's strong arms too.
Yeah.
Ninko's
But
one of the guys that
very
I
strong.
can't get leverage on. He's like a bowling ball. You're kind of like a James Harrison a little bit. You guys have the leverage on me, so I'm never going to be able to move you. I moved plenty of guys in my career, but I could never push back Ninko, not even an inch.
Pretty strong.
And majority of the time, actually, I was getting pushed back and then like a foot or two, and then I would have to find a way to cut him off so he wouldn't make the tackle. I was trying to figure out those type of techniques because I couldn't move. This guy is an absolute animal. He's like kind of part of the ground.
Early in our careers, we would do a lot of one-on-ones. We would do the half line stuff. We would do all those things that they don't do anymore. I actually said this the other day. If the rules were in place when I came into the league the way that they are right now, I don't think I make an NFL roster. I don't think the OTAs, I don't think the padded practices are beneficial to guys.
It wouldn't develop
pads. It wouldn't develop me. So, there's guys that look great in the shells. You know, they're big NFL players. They're jacked. They're ripped. They got the V. You know, unlike me, that's kind of like, you know, plumber-ish. Plumber. You know, maybe no offense to any plumbers out there, but you guys aren't jacked,
couple chunks.
right?
There's a couple jacked plumbers.
Couple jacked plumbers. Well, the TRT's popular. You know that for a fact.
You're a tasty chunk, though.
Yeah,
you're delicious.
Well, it's it's marbled. It's marbled. You know, that's
ice
like
cream.
You go Wagyu beef.
You're a Wagyu.
I'm a Wagyu.
Ribeye,
I'm a Wagyu.
Japanese.
That's right.
A5.
I'm a tomahawk.
Coming
I'm a tomahawk.
right off the ship.
I'm a tomahawk.
Yeah.
But
tomahawk.
I just think that the guys that are in full pads, you separate the men from the boys in pads, and they don't do one-on-ones. They don't do half line. They don't do 9-on-7. They don't do the things that really
made you better.
Show if a guy can make a play on the field. Like really for me, all those drills in practice are what turned a lot of guys' heads like, oh shit, like that dude's pretty good. Oh, one-on-ones, that guy's pretty good. And then you get in the game and you do it. So I feel for those guys, especially the borderline guys that need to prove themselves, that need special teams, that need to run down on kickoff. And when I was a rookie, like I was the white linebacker. Like you have to run down and hit a wedge. You have to run down and take the middle guy out. You got to run down and just kamikaze yourself. And you got to do what you got to do, right? Like at the end of the day, you're trying to like make it. So you got to, it's him or me. I'm going to take him out. Like that's the name of the game.
And Ninko did a lot of that.
You did.
Yeah.
So you had this journey. You were in Miami. You played inside linebacker. You got cut. You went to New Orleans. You played long snapper.
Yeah.
You got cut again. When was that time in your NFL career where you knew you belonged and you were going to be a special player at the outside linebacker position?
I knew I could do it in 06 when I was a rookie, you know? So when I got drafted, they only kept 3 DNs. So I was in the rotation, but then I blew my knee out in the Superdome opening game against Atlanta. So when they had the Katrina, the storm, the dome, the whole thing, they opened the dome back up, was September 25th, Monday Night Football. And I was run down on kickoff. It was deep kick right after they had to run a reverse, and I was actually going in on defense on that next series, and we were playing Vic. So it was like, okay, like it's Vic. I want to get Vic. But it was a deep kick right, and the returner caught the ball like a yard from the pylon, and I was the R3. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go make the play. So I just started to try and go make the play, and the wedge hit me when I was planted trying to go back to make the tackle, and my knee just pow, 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 like 3 big pops. I remember it. Bang. ACL, MCL, PCL, meniscus. And then I was right there. Sean Payton, I was on the ground. And he's like, are you out? Are you hurt? Are you injured? I'm like, I'm fucking done. Like, I knew I was done. So then after the game, you have like denial. Like, I didn't tear my ACL. I like tried to walk on it.
Because it
like,
gets better after a couple hours.
No, it wasn't bad. It like flamingoed. Like I stepped and it like went backwards. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I need to
hyperextension.
I remember looking at Jim Whalen.
Oh,
I just said, is it there?
Is it? Oh, it's gone.
And he's like, we need to get an X-ray. I go, fuck you, Jimmy.
God damn it. It's not.
Because if he says, because they do the test, they know right away.
Test,
They know the right away.
I mean,
if they say we got to get an X-ray, that means you're done.
I got weird. I mean, I have like super loose knees anyway. So like, when
I know there was like 5 times in a game where Ninkovich would come up. I tore my ACL.
Yeah. Well,
I tore. Would be looking at him like, wait, you're fine, Ninko.
I tore my.
I can't.
I tore I tore my MCL 6 times. Oh, just from getting rolled up on. Because
at least you got a record.
When you're on the line and Andy Edelman
throwing shots, Jules.
Yeah, throwing shots.
Shots, huh?
Yeah.
Shots. Hey, he's had a few shots in his day.
Oh, throwing shots back at you.
Talking. This guy over here. What about with all these chirps on our social? Like, are you just a public
instant.
chirper?
I just love it. I think it's hilarious. I mean, the dudes on dudes, the space
Watch
stocky.
those beers, Gronk.
Hey,
your
that
underwear modeling start might look good. And then you get on Gronk about being on Botox. You must think he looks good.
Yeah. Botox look good, by the way.
You guys
why were you saying that? Why were you saying I'm on
I know
Botox?
you guys are close friends with a lot of guys that make,
What?
Like,
do we look like we have Botox?
Who are we close friends with that has Botox?
Does he have,
what are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say?
Hey, feel me.
No,
I'm all
nothing.
natural.
You look
come
good.
Here.
No,
come
you
here.
look
Come
good.
feel me.
I feel like
look at that wrinkle.
No,
if I had Botox, that wrinkle
you
wouldn't
know what
be
they
there.
call this? A response. You guys are responding to it, and I love it. And if I didn't like you, I wouldn't put it out there. But
we don't respond to you on the internet.
Yeah.
Sure you do.
This is
We
our
don't even
first
hit
time
the word
responding
yet.
to you.
Oh, you don't respond?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't believe that for a second, but you get a lot of laughs. People are laughing, but like literally your balls are on his back right now, which is kind of weird.
No, all right.
But it's dudes on dudes. It's cool.
You got to use your groin.
Oh, you got to squeeze
Do
it.
you have something against
Like
not at
friendship?
all. No, dude, I'm here.
bromances?
Are you guys?
You got a thing against a bromance? Is something wrong with you?
He was
Hey,
just,
speaking
he's
of
just
meat, are
jealous.
you guys?
That's why he's here as the
Are you
the
sponsored
three-way
by
now.
any like butchers or anything?
Butchers.
Yeah,
Why?
because meat, dudes on dudes. You know, like sponsored by certain
That's a
butchers.
good point, man.
I just came up
That's a
with that
good point.
instantly.
We should have
how
a
long-
See, these
butchership
guys-
sponsorship.
This guy came in with the
I like
clipboard
that.
of
Yeah.
chirps.
No, that's all
He
stuff.
came in with the
that's all
fucking
cowboy
That
clipboard.
chirp is going to help us out. We
Yeah, I
appreciate
know, I
that.
know.
Dude,
but
I'm
like-
telling you,
Yeah.
you want Wagyu beef? Go hit up Wagyu. Say, hey,
Wagyu is a type of beef.
I know. Hit up whoever makes it. Just say, hey, it's dudes on dudes. We like meat.
This
I
is
got
episode.
one more question
All right,
though
what
for
is
him.
it?
Like,
Yeah, come on.
All right, this guy's great with leverage in the run game. How many sacks in your career?
I don't know, like 46 or something.
46 sacks.
I missed a ton of
Right,
sacks.
46 sacks.
Yeah.
That's a lot of amount, right?
Yeah. Like 51 in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Count.
51 total in the
yeah,
playoffs.
that's not bad.
51
total.
total.
But they don't
So
count any of that
a guy
stuff.
with 51 sacks in his career. Why did you not make more money?
Well, at the
Why
end of the day,
did you not have the leverage in the contract talks?
well, because I think
a guy with
so
51 sacks.
Here, this is what I'm going to tell
big
you.
money.
This is my.
What's your theory?
What's your theory? I want to hear it.
This
Let's
is
hear your
just
theory.
advice.
We're always talking about it.
51
That's why I'm
sacks, a lot of
asking.
sacks.
This is
Yeah,
advice
that's a lot
to
of
you.
sacks.
A lot of
dude.
sacks.
You guys just won't let me speak. This is advice. Money shouldn't be your goal.
But
Financial freedom should be your goal. So
Okay.
whatever number you have or what you have, what I have, it's all different. So like if you want to keep up with the Joneses and you want to have the Bentley and you want to have the nice house and the car, you're going to have to keep working. You're going to have to make more money. You're going to have to get all that. You're going to have to. But if my number is a certain number and I'm happy with it and it gives me the financial freedom and you're smart and you're not an idiot with it, then you're fine. So your contract, why didn't you make more? Why didn't you make more?
That's a good point. We all should have.
I think, wasn't your first contract less than Hernandez's contract?
less guaranteed.
Less guaranteed.
Yes. I was financially free though when I signed it. So,
And then
like
you also
said, I was
have,
good.
as a free agent, like when you're a free agent, you have to, so if you're a first round pick, so any first round pick, you're a second round pick, you're not going to make a contract that's less than your second round contract because that doesn't make sense. If you're a free agent and your signing bonus is $5,000, mine was like 130 something thousand. If they dangle $500,000 in front of you for a 2-year deal with like $4 million, you're like, fuck, $4 million. Okay, that's $2 million after taxes. All right, my goal is 10 to 12 when I'm done. When you hit that number and you're like, okay, conservatively, if I make 7 to 10% on that money and I don't touch the nut, like it's just going to roll over.
7 to 10%. Who's your financial
7
guy?
to 10
Yeah.
conservatively. Because if you try to go for 12 to 15, the downside risk is a lot harder.
Oh.
So like if you were heavily invested, you were shooting for 15 to 20% at your young age.
Guy's a financial
and
advisor. now.
COVID hit,
This guy's
then you
Gordon
would have
Gekko.
been down 30%, right? So you want to stay conservative in your investments.
Wow.
Oh.
Thank you for that financial
Sorry.
literacy
That's some
report.
knowledge.
So for
right there.
every $10
From-
million, you could pull 20,000 a month, and that's not your full nut. So you could pull 40, right? So if you have 20 million in the bank, you could live off of 40,000 a month. Could you live off of 40,000 a month?
I don't know.
So it depends on your lifestyle.
It depends on your
If you
lifestyle.
live in LA and you got a big house and you got to pay taxes on it because they just passed something on, I think the governor of California just passed like a 16% increase on your property taxes. So that should be fun.
16%?
16%.
So what's that
That's a
make?
lot.
16% of what it is, or they're putting it to 16%?
No, they're adding 16 to what you're paying right now.
So you're paying 1.1% of your purchase
Yes.
price. So 16% of that. So it's going to be 1.16.
It's just going to be a lot if you live in California.
Nico, I like the heat that you're bringing to the table
I love
today,
the heat.
man.
And you know
You're
what?
just
surprising me
simple.
right
It's
now,
simple.
man. And I
It's very
really like it,
simple.
man. You're always bringing that intriguing factor to whatever you're doing. And that's why we love you, man.
Well,
you brought it to the locker
you have
room.
to have these deep
You bring it
conversations.
to life.
I was thinking of doing my own thing just called depth and just getting deep on life and getting
Well,
deep.
you know
on
what?
what are we here for? Julian, what are we here for? What are you here for?
Either.
We're here for you
Yeah.
to get deep into the dude that you're bringing to,
Yes.
and that's what we're gonna do.
Yes,
Set
that
the
is why
damn
we're
clock.
here.
Let's go.
Or Ninko's gonna be here for 6 hours talking to us about how to make 8% on his portfolio.
Hey,
Rob,
if you
what's
make 8%, you're good.
It's
It's probably tax-free too somehow with
tax
Ninko.
free. Yeah, we got
8%, 10%
Depends on how you
tax
If
free.
the IRS is
Now we're
listening,
talking.
yeah, you
I
know exactly on who
pay
to
a
audit.
decent
I would
amount.
audit that guy. Summer is here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats.
What do you mean by almost?
Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get chicken parmesan delivered.
A day at the lake? That's a no.
A Philly cheesesteak? That's a yes.
A nice tan? Sorry, no. But a box fan? Happily, yes.
What about a day of sunshine? Not happening. A box of fine wines? Yes, that's happening. Delivery on its way.
Okay, how about some clear skies? Nope.
Well then, how about some French fries? Yep.
A cabana? No, not that. A banana? Yes, that.
How about a freshly cut lawn? Can't help you there. But a barbecued prawn? Order it and it's on its way. Even throw in some paper towels to clean up after the feast.
So while you can't get fun in the sun delivered, don't worry because you can get pork buns delivered. Uber Eats can definitely get you that.
Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now.
Alcohol in select markets, product availability may vary by region. See app for details. Let's get the AI
right.
synopsis of
So this is
who
how-
Rob Ninkovich picked for.
So, Ninko, this
Us
is
to
how
get
it
into,
works.
to
Now
get
we have a
deep
guest.
on,
Usually
to get
Julian and
deep
I
on.
break
It's
down
called
two guys.
depth.
2 guys or 3 guys we usually break down, talk about them for 10 minutes. But since you're the guest, we're just going to do one guy that we're going to break down. You have
You,
the
that
honor.
you, that you
Just
brought.
one guy.
Okay. Yeah.
And before we get started, I read a AI summary about the guy just to give
Okay.
a little glimpse of who
Don't
we're going
say
to
who
talk
it is
about.
yet.
I'm not.
Here we go.
All right.
And the reason why I read it is because Julian's
can't read.
reading. There we go.
Can't
there
read.
we go.
I remember.
And I knew Ninko was probably going to say that, so I just wanted to get ahead of
Can't
the
read
game.
in front of people.
Yeah.
I can't read.
Can't.
He can read a playbook.
Hey.
Standing at 6'4" and
6'4",
weighing
big guy.
220 pounds. This Hall of Fame quarterback was selected first overall in the 1989 draft, the year that I was born, and went on to lead his team to 3 Super Bowl championships.
Wow.
He earned 6 Pro Bowl selections and was the MVP of Super Bowl 27, cementing his status as a clutch performer in big moments. Raised in California and Oklahoma, he starred at UCLA.
Euclid.
In high school, he was an all-state football player and also a standout shortstop. Since retiring, he's been a fixture in the broadcast booth and even launched his own beer in 2022. Let's get on Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman.
And Ninko.
I love Troy
Why
Aikman.
did you pick Troy Aikman for the dude that you want to get all over on?
So I picked Troy Aikman because number one, when you're a kid, you're influenced by the best teams and the winners, right?
Mhm.
So when I was a kid, I grew up in Chicago, the suburbs of Chicago. The Bears sucked, right? They had Cade McNown, and they were just terrible.
Ooh.
Remember? He's
Yeah.
another UCLA guy. So for me, the Cowboys were the team. So I had like the bedspread and I had the Cowboys like in the bedroom, like all the, I had the border around my room. The Cowboys had Emmitt Smith on the wall, Troy Aikman,
Irvin.
Michael Irvin.
Mike.
So, for
What
me,
about
I
Jimmy
just
Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have a poster of him, but he had great hair.
Still
There we
does.
go.
Great hair.
Yeah.
Still does.
Looking fly.
So, and he was just like Troy Aikman is just a tough quarterback. Like he was a guy that would just take a big lick and just keep going, right?
Gritty.
Just gritty. And, I had a chance to talk to him a couple times. That beer company that he's got, 8, I do believe. Like he sent me a whole like beer and stuff. I was so pumped. I'm like, Troy Aikman sent me a beer.
What type of beer is it?
It's a light beer because if
how does it separate from other beers?
Well, his beer is a light lager. It's very light because
he's got light lager hair.
He's a health conscious guy. Like if you watch his social media stuff, he's jacked for how old he is.
58.
58.
Like he looks great.
He looks great.
He does.
And unfortunately he had to leave the game a little early because of the head stuff that he was taking. He was taking some big shots.
When he talks.
Yeah,
he sounds great.
Talks well.
He does a great job on television, and I think he's one hell of a dude.
You ever meet him?
I've never met him in person.
You've never met Troy Aikman?
No.
Troy
Maybe
Aikman.
one day. Maybe one day.
You ever talk to him?
Actually, I take that back. I take that back. You do the pregame stuff.
Yeah.
I met him at one of those, and I was like
what
starstruck.
Game? Where at?
I think we were in Cincinnati. I think we played in Cincinnati. Okay. That was the game that, remember, like we had that monsoon. It was literally like
13.
Yes, we were coming back. It was the last drive, and
we just started out.
We had a fumble. We created a fumble right there. I think Dev created a fumble. We got the ball back.
We couldn't throw it.
Couldn't throw the ball. Like literally, it was craziest rain. We had the craziest rainstorm right when we got the ball. I think Vonnie Holiday had a strip sack on Tom.
I was hurt that game.
If you ever met him, what would your first question be to him?
Probably just how did you stay so successful for so many years when you guys were the team? And like we were the team, but that's like the team. And that was in the 90s too. And they were back-to-back Super Bowl champions. So I think it was 92, 93. And then that was the team that they killed Buffalo. And I don't know if you've seen the documentary, The Four Falls of Buffalo.
Yeah.
It's kind of depressing.
Very sad.
From Buffalo, Ninko.
I know. Oh, yeah. Remember.
But I was so young. I don't remember any of that. Like I don't.
Okay,
like I don't remember any of that when that all happened.
My last game was Atlanta.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Right? Do you ever think about the other side, like those guys, like how terrible that must feel for them?
For Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime I see one of the guys,
like,
they always
I feel because Matt Ryan, anytime he does anything, they ask him about that. And it's like at a point, I would just be like, shut the fuck up.
I know he had
stupid
questions.
questions.
Had like a hell of a career. He made so much money. I mean, threw for so many touchdowns, and all people bring up to him is, hey, like what happened in that game versus the Patriots in the Super Bowl? That sucks.
When I watch those documentaries, like The Four Falls of Buffalo, and I see like some of the guys, and now they're older, and I don't know if you've seen some older NFL players, but it's pretty depressing. It's like, holy shit. Like I wish they would have won a Super Bowl for those guys, right? Now, I'm happy that we were able to make that happen and win that football game, but I kind of sometimes have, a little bit of empathy for those guys that didn't win a Super Bowl.
Definitely.
Because you lost a Super Bowl as well.
Yes. So we know what it feels like to lose a Super Bowl. It's probably one of the worst feelings that you can feel.
The worst.
And you almost would rather, now I say this, and I don't know if you feel the same, I almost rather not play that game, rather just like lose the AFC Championship game and then say, oh shit, next year we'll get back there. Because when you get to the Super Bowl, and we had it, and not only was it a shitty loss, it was in Indianapolis.
That was the worst.
It was like, who thought like, oh, let's have a nice Indianapolis Super Bowl. It's going to be freezing, and there's only one cool steakhouse, and there's really nothing to do here. St. Elmo's.
It's actually a great host city, I heard, though, like for like conventions and shit. For like the viewer and the fan, if it wasn't freezing,
it sucks.
They have hotels. I've heard it's a really good hosting city.
Almost as bad as Minnesota.
That was freezing. That was 11 under. Yeah, it was 11 degrees under.
So whoever
zero.
makes those that decision, let's stay the warm climate.
You gotta build the stadium up. It was a newer stadium. I mean, come on.
I was just in Indy. Like you said, they need some warm weather there.
Yeah.
It's all right. They do a decent job hosting that many people. I was at the Indy 500, so there was over 400,000 people in the city, and they had enough hotels, enough restaurants and all that, but it's kind of run down a little bit. And talking about that Super Bowl game as well, that's why I got so hammered after the game, because I didn't want to remember anything that happened.
I don't remember anything.
Exactly. I don't remember it either.
They put a safety video out on like a good chip, and the NFL put it out, and they showed the clip that I actually got concussed in. So I'm coming off the tackle, and literally like the second I get off the tackle's shoulder, Brandon Jacobs is running to the flat and flippers me on my chin. I stop and I drop in coverage, but I'm not supposed to be in coverage at all. And I get off the field, and Maddie's like, hey, what happened on that play? I'm like, what play? I don't remember. Like, I got hit. He's like, yeah, you got hit. I said, dude, I was I don't remember anything. So
Yeah.
I don't even remember playing in that game.
So you know how crazy dangerous this game was or is.
Yeah.
And especially for a guy like Troy Aikman who took a lot of hits.
Yeah.
What does he do better that makes everyone else? What does he do better than anyone else? What is his great
That makes
thing?
him elite.
Probably
of
his
the elite.
consistency. Because if you watch like just what he does now, it's how he prepares for television, and then how he takes care of his body. So literally to get in shape or to be fit, it's just discipline and consistency. So like for him to be so good for so long and then transition into the booth and be so good for so long, he has to be consistent and he has to be able to do that over and over and over again. And I think that's why he was so successful in his professional career. And then when he went to television, he's been even probably more successful, right? He's stuck around for so long and he's still doing it at such a high level. It comes back to probably what he was so good at when he was a professional football player.
You know, I really like that answer. And to all you young bucks out there, it's all about consistency. It's not about doing it once, having a one-handed catch, you know, that day, or running so fast and blowing by the safeties and having a touchdown. But if you can't do it the next day, well, then you're not going to make the team. You're not going to make the cut. And what's so interesting is that we asked Slater what made Brandon Schooler so great as a special teamer to make him an all-pro last year. And he said the same thing because Matthew Slater coached him. And he said it's his consistency. He brought it every single day to practice, and then it transferred into a game. And now we just talked to you, and we asked, hey, what makes Troy Aikman so great? And you said it's his consistency, just how he prepares, how he went out there to be great on a daily basis. So if you want to be great, it has to be at a consistent rate every single day. It's not like, hey, I'm going to be good today. I'm going to try hard today and I'm going to take off tomorrow. No, you have to be great every day and you have to bring your A game every day, just like Troy Aikman, like Ninko's saying.
That's right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Dude's a beast.
And talking about Troy, if you had the chance, if you were playing back in his era, what do you think it would have been like to sack him?
Would have been awesome. I'd have loved it. You know, you watch 90s tape, 2000s, the game has definitely evolved. It's changed. It's a lot different. Now, I'm not going to be that old guy and it's like, oh, these young kids today couldn't play back in the day. But I would say the receivers nowadays, the tight ends, the quarterbacks, like, and I think Tom's even talked about this. You back in the 90s and early 2000s, like you had a responsibility to take care of your receiver. Like, hey, I'm not just going to throw lead a receiver on a slant and there's a guy sitting right there. You could take him out of the game. You could
take him out for a week.
Take him out. Right. So, you know, when I watch those guys back in the 90s and the 2000s, I think that it was probably the hardest and most physical the football, like the game, the sport has ever been, because the rules weren't adjusted.
And it was the apex of where they had the
like
more athleticism
speed,
and they started training in the off season and shit.
So you had speed, you had strength, and you had subpar equipment. So like those guys were still wearing like the cork bike helmets that they were wearing in the 80s, in the 70s. They were wearing that shit all the way their whole career.
But they were faster and bigger.
Yeah. And all hits were legal too. The crackback was legal.
Like there are guys.
You can blindside someone. You can just tee off and someone going up the seam.
There are guys.
I seen it. I seen someone, I think Howie Long gouged someone's eyeball out.
The quarterbacks just absolutely got derailed too.
There are guys that are in the Hall of Fame that couldn't play in today's game. They just couldn't play because of the way that the physicality of how they hit people. Like a John Lynch. Like John Lynch right now couldn't just decapitate people over the middle.
And that was his game.
That was his game.
Ronnie Lott.
So it doesn't fit in this era.
It doesn't fit in this era. So for me, it's like those guys, like I have all the
think it's two-hand touch out now here now.
I have all the respect in the world for like that era of football, because not only they weren't making the crazy money, they were building the game up to where it is right now.
Yeah.
And like now the guys are getting paid crazy money. And we were talking about before the show.
We were getting paid crazy money too compared to the guys before us though. That's how it goes every generation.
So it's the evolution of the game. I mean, like a baseball player, like they're probably like, oh my God, you see what those guys are making $700 million and they're going to make that when they're 50, 60 years old. Like the Ohtani contract, who's going to make $30 million when he's 55 is nuts because they defer everything down the road.
Yeah, so he can be in Texas when he ditches so he doesn't get taxed on it.
Exactly.
Back to who's the favorite quarterback that you've ever sacked? Since we're talking about sacking Troy Aikman, what about you in your career?
Brett Favre.
So Brett Favre, I can't officially call it a sack for Brett Favre because he intentionally grounded the ball, so that takes away your sack, which sucks.
You had Brett Favre?
Yeah. I'd say Probably Manning's. I got the Manning
intentionally
brother. I got both of them,
grounded
so that's good.
sack.
Grounded sack. Yeah, so they don't consider it a sack. I'd probably say Peyton and Eli. Those are two good ones. Because Peyton, when I was at Purdue, I went to the it was a Thursday night opener at the RCA Dome, and they were playing the Steelers. And I went there I went there my senior year at Purdue, and they were playing. After the game, he went to this bar, and the agent that was trying to recruit me like took me to the same bar. And I remember looking at like that's Peyton Manning, right? And then fast forward like 12 years, and I'm like sack fumbling them and stuff. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, smearing, giving them business.
And what's the moment that stands out the most to you in Troy Aikman's career?
Probably, from the transition, because a lot of guys, there's only 3 ways to leave the game. So it's your way, their way, or injured. So when you leave injured, mentally, it's kind of hard to just really take that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to accept the fact that you are being pushed out of the game that you love. And when you're playing football, like that's your everything. Like you love it, right? That's all you know because you've been doing it your whole life. So I think probably the most impressive thing is his transition from leaving the game not on his terms and then going into the booth and being really good at it.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, his career is great, but I think the television aspect of it, because what he does is not easy, right? Like the game is a flow and you got to be on it. And yeah, he's with Joe Buck, and that guy's, he's got the voice and he's like right on it. But to come in and to come out and be good and have chemistry, it takes time, and he's worked at it, obviously.
He's called 6 Super Bowls in 20 years at Fox.
Yeah.
And he's been at ESPN since 2022.
Yeah. Yeah. Good old ESPN.
That's your spot, Bubs. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
What kind of dude is Troy Aikman? Is he a stud? An athleticism freak? He's had the pedigree his whole life. The football IQ's there. He's well-rounded. Is he a freak? Unparalleled physical ability. One of one. Instinct. You see him, you're like, that's not human. Is he a dog? Relentless, motivated, physically, mentally tough? Is he a whiz? Intellect, innovative, clutch? Or is he a dude's dude? A positive attitude or negative attitude in the locker room that makes a guy relatable and great for the locker room.
And don't you worry, Ninko.
This one's tough.
We're going to ask you a series of questions later in this episode to figure out what type of dude you are too. So get ready. So think a little bit about this one.
Okay, so this is tough because you can't just say like, oh, he's a freak or he's a dog. Like, it's tough because to be a quarterback, you have to have a lot of intellect. You got to be very smart. So he's definitely got a little whiz to him. He's a stud because he's #1 overall pick.
He's definitely a stud.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He's a stud.
No
he
doubt.
looks like a stud. His face looks like a stud.
Yeah, like he's got that.
He's got a stud voice.
He's got the
just everything about him.
So I'm gonna go. I'm going combo on this. Okay, I'm gonna say stud.
There's no such thing as a combo.
There's no combos in this.
Fuck.
It's one.
All right, he's a
one
stud.
category that dominates the most.
I was gonna explain though, and he sells beer, right? He's got his own beer, so that's kind of like a dude's dude. So I'll stay with stud. I'm saying he's a stud. He's a fucking stud.
He has a little bit of attributes in him as a dude as well.
Yeah.
But mostly he's a stud.
Yes.
Yeah, but he is a stud.
He's a stud.
He went to UCLA. The California kid became the fucking America's team's quarterback. Won 3 Super Bowl. Like, he's a stud.
Now an ace in the broadcasting booth.
Ace.
Has his own beer that you've been drinking a lot of. We can tell, Ninko.
I'm actually leaning mean right now, Rob.
So now let's get on to Chillest Dude of the Week, presented by Coors Light.
Give me a beer.
Yeah, get him a beer, no doubt about that.
Are they cold?
Last episode, Slater, he's a good boy.
These are good.
Doesn't drink beer, so I double fisted for him. But Ninko, thank you for
this is for you guys.
enjoying a
Coors
beer
Light.
for us. So let's get into the Chillest Dude of the Week, brought to you by our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dudes. Celebrate responsibly. And Ninko, thank you for being here today and hanging out with us, dudes. You're a good dude.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
hey,
well, I heard that crack.
Cheers.
It's cold as the Rockies.
Cold as the Rockies.
Hey, Ninko, as the Chillest Dude of the Week, do you like our cooler?
It's very cool.
It has
I'm gonna,
speakers on it. Yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
All right. That should be a gift for me.
And the Chillest Dude of the Week is the one and only Rob Ninkovich.
And we're going to ask our pal, our teammate Rob, a patented system of questions to see what kind of dude he was in the locker room.
I kind of already have a feeling what type of dude he is, but you know, it might get changed up a little bit after these questions.
Got a series of questions.
This is going to be so fun asking Ninko questions. He's so right. He's so calm though today.
He's
it's
so
like
calm.
He's usually a spaz.
He's spazzy.
All over the place. Like not knowing what to do.
It's
like
crazy.
What happened over the last
He's so calm.
Like
not anymore.
The camera's on.
Yeah.
He's really calm. All right, let's start out with the hard one.
All right, come on.
And you've been having great answers to all the questions.
Hey,
like
it's the ayahuasca.
Mind blowing. Ayahuasca. See, there we go. I knew
it's the microdosing of shroom.
Microdosing.
There you go. You know, all right, let's start out with something
share?
easy.
Let's go.
What kind of dude do you think you are?
I think I'm you know, just your average dude, down to earth.
Out of the 5 categories. Or
we already knew you.
Down to earth.
Knew you're average.
I'm down to earth. I'm an average dude. I'm just your average dude.
Average.
I'm just your average.
This plays into
down to earth.
I'm a drink a beer. I'm a drink a beer with kind of dude.
Down to earth guy.
So it's kind of like a dude's dude then.
Nah, we don't know.
What you're saying? No confidence and. I don't know.
I don't know.
Definitely
You
not
said
a stud,
you
then.
said no confidence. I'm not a stud. I'm not a stud. I'm not a stud. You wouldn't
I
breed
mean,
a
if it was
horse.
Campbell's soup, you might be a stud.
The chunky.
Yeah, the chunky.
That's right.
Yeah,
Did you ever
chunky
do a Campbell's soup commercial?
Nah, I wasn't.
I'm surprised.
Chunky enough. It was all offensive linemen and
No, they have
Big Nap.
yeah,
they've had the Watts on there. They're not chunky.
yeah. No, they're not. They're jacked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they were selling Jack Campbell soup. All right, next question. Did you wear flip flops in the shower?
No,
Oh, okay.
never a flip flop guy.
Oh, no.
You
Yeah,
weren't scared
that's
of
it.
like
No,
what's it called when you get all
never
that
had any of
bacteria?
that. Never had
on your
that.
feet.
No. Well, think
Wow.
about it. If everyone's wearing flip flops and I'm not, then I'm good.
What about the
Guy's a
dirt?
freak.
What about the dirty,
Yeah.
grimy,
Doesn't get sick.
sweat and
The sweat?
disgusting bacteria that comes off your body that's in and on the ground from practice? I don't know. It's
I mean,
we ask the question to everyone.
I've accidentally
Nervous system doesn't
I've
get
accidentally
sick.
ingested your spit bottle, so
Yeah.
you know I've had worse
So-
things happen.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, he does not wear.
No,
No.
he doesn't.
Okay.
I do not.
No.
Who's the most famous person in your phone?
Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie
Yeah.
Wahlberg.
I
Dang.
did text Donnie right now. He's starting a new, I think it's like a detective show in Boston. I need to be like an extra. So somebody roughs up or something.
Donnie Wahlberg. I love Donnie.
Mhm.
I
Lives
mean,
on the
your
block.
impersonations earlier in the show definitely, are putting you on alert to be an actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should be an actor,
New Kids
dude.
on the
You
Block.
would be good at an actor.
You'd be good at
I'd have a hard time memorizing lines, I think.
I don't know. I don't think so, man.
Oh, depends.
You're
You gotta
smarter
do,
than what
you gotta
you think.
do like the, word association. and all
Well,
that.
talking about, can you memorize lines? What
Yeah.
was your college GPA?
3.2.
Oh, 3-2.
Oh, yeah, you already
3-2.
talked about that.
Smarter than we
At
thought.
Purdue, they really made you feel stupid if you didn't get this. They would give you a little essay on your jersey. They wouldn't put your name on your jersey, but they'd put a student athlete symbol on your jersey if you had over a 3.0. So I was trying to get that because I didn't want to look stupid.
So he had the SA patch.
Essay patch right on the V. It was right here.
Student athlete.
Yep, that's it.
There's no more such things as student athletes.
Yeah.
No, they're just trying to get the bag.
But you were.
Give me
You're
the
a
bag.
good example
Thank
to
you.
these kids.
Thank you. Yes.
What was the song on your high school highlight tape?
Welcome to the jungle.
Jungle. Guns N'
Oh.
Roses.
Fun and game.
Guns N' Roses
So
guy.
does that mean you like
Guns
bush?
I love a big bush.
Yeah, a lot of bushes in the jungle.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
right.
Guns N' Roses.
I knew it. All right.
Big
How
floss
many
guy.
college offers did you get?
A lot of Mac schools.
Mac Daddy.
So
The Mac. Oh, sorry.
I had this shitty school, Kent State, offer me.
Really? Or are you just
No, I didn't.
busting
I'm just
chops?
kidding. I'm kidding.
He wouldn't go there because James Harrison was there during that time, and he was
yeah.
a real
Yeah.
guy.
You
James
never
Harrison.
played. I
James
told you, you should be an actor. That's a good imitation right there of Julian.
Harrison. I like him. He's a good dude. Seems like a great
Yes.
guy.
So how many college offers did you get? Stop
Probably
beating around the bush.
1, 2, like 3 college offers.
3 offers.
All you need is one.
All you need
to
is
have
one.
a free
Mac,
Exactly.
ride.
Indiana.
All you need is one.
Illinois State.
All right, next question. What was your first car?
My first car was a 1987 yellow Mustang convertible with a 4-cylinder and a messed up muffler. So it was like, it was $1,000.
Convertible.
Yes.
Wow. What do you drive now?
It's just a F350.
F350.
Ford.
Wow.
Yep. Ford
Diesel?
F350. Diesel. Yes.
Diesel.
Sir.
Oh,
Yep.
Total
Big
opposite
diesel
of
guy.
his first car.
Yeah,
Big diesel.
Big diesel guy.
Yep.
He is diesel though.
Diesel.
You are a truck.
Yep. Big
What
truck.
was your first endorsement deal?
Probably just the Nike deal.
Nike.
When you come in, it
Nike
was like
guy.
$5,000. It was
He's
great.
a Nike guy.
Did you use all the money?
I did.
Did you
I
pay-
actually,
did you pay the
because I knew
taxes
I
on
was
that
going to
money?
get cut. Yeah, of course. I got a good tax guy. CPA's on it. I knew I was going to
he
get
just
cut,
doesn't
so I
wanna
got a
get
set
audited.
of golf clubs. They were like $2,000. I got all the Tiger Woods stuff. Now they don't make golf stuff anymore, Nike, but
Oh,
I thought they
vintage.
Do you still have those
vintage stuff.
clubs?
Still do.
Still has them.
Added an inch.
write that
Added an
down.
inch to those clubs.
Still
by the way,
has them.
wish you could add an inch, don't you, Rob?
Still has Nike.
A couple inches, I wish.
Yeah, you'd have a
Nike
kid by
club.
now.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't
right.
reach.
We got questions.
Doesn't reach.
I know. I'm
I'm
screwed.
ready.
We got a lot of questions
All right, keep
all over
coming.
the board.
Coming.
I might have to do that like IFP or whatever. What's that
The
called?
pump, the penis pump thing.
I don't know. Like
Swedish penis pump.
Oh,
by Austin Powers.
IPF or whatever in order to have a kid. I don't
Dude,
know.
Do I make you
I don't
Randy?
know.
Do I?
IVF.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
in vitro. You don't
Yeah.
need that.
Well, it's not long enough.
That has nothing to do. You could have a micro, and if you have the sperm count, you'll make as many kids as you want.
All right.
Okay, well, since you're a
This
doctor,
guy has so much knowledge.
Dr. Ninko,
what's the
Yeah.
square root of
Yeah.
144?
12.
Oh,
Dude.
quick. He said it quick.
He's so
I
much
knew that.
smarter than he
Just
looks.
pretty smart.
man.
Well, he
Purdue
did,
guy.
did it quick.
Ivy League.
Describe your locker.
Pretty messy.
Oh,
Yeah.
messy guy.
organized and messy. All right, Jules. You know what really gets me heated in the summer? When you're at the airport, delayed 3 hours, and someone decides to eat tuna next to you.
Oh.
That's when I gotta choose chill.
100% for me. Outdoor weddings in July, tucks on, sweating like I just ran a post route in Miami.
Exactly. Summer's supposed to be about good times, tailgates, rooftop hangs, boat days with the crew, not sweating the small stuff.
We've got ball games lined up, summer concerts, backyard football, whatever it is. You better believe we're showing up with a cooler full of Coors Light.
So whatever chaos summer throws your way, make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light.
Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dudes.
Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer.
So, do you know that most athletes, because men in general,
Messy.
they don't develop their frontal lobe, that you develop that in your 32 years old, right? So, when you're a football player and everything is like scheduled out and planned out, you don't actually ever develop that skill. So, the majority of football players, because of the scheduling and all the things that are done for you, have a hard time with organizing, scheduling, doing all that stuff. That's why Julian has an assistant.
Frontal lobe.
Wow. All that just to
Two
say
assistants.
that at the end.
And
just
then
to
on
throw
top of that,
shot.
on top of that, you're
Frontal
hitting
lobe.
the front of your head. So you're like destroying and you're not developing that.
Well, what about me? That's why he has an assistant.
Have you ever been
bro.
in Rob's garage? It's not organized.
Okay, so frontal lobe
Yes.
because of locker
and
can't organize.
men in general don't develop that until later in life.
You know, this guy's got all the answers. So if you weren't a pro athlete, then what would you
Yeah,
do for work?
Mr. All
I'd
Answers?
probably be an iron worker.
Iron worker.
Oh.
With that brain?
Yeah.
I don't know. This
Just-
guy's
it's-
going to be
hey,
an iron
you-
worker.
He's probably just saying that because he
Did you like
thinks
Legos?
He's just so
Did you
strong.
like erector
strong.
sets?
Oh,
You know
Iron-
Papa Ninko's an iron worker. You know, you
Iron
got me in there.
worker.
Iron
Yeah,
Mike.
but you don't got the grit of Papa Ninko.
yeah.
Yeah,
Iron
no, he's a
worker.
tough
He
guy.
carries the name.
Tough guy. My
All right.
dad in Disney will like ask people if they're tough. So imagine you're walking in Disney, right? And a guy is in a cutoff and he's got pipes, right? So he's jacked up and a 7-year-old man just looks at him and says, "Tough guy, huh?" And the guy goes, "What?" No, don't worry about that. I don't know why he does that. He just,
Well, this is great. This is leading
Tough
into
guy,
the
huh?
next question.
Okay.
After that,
Don't do that, Dad. You're gonna get beat up.
summarizing of your dad. And a fight breaks out at practice or at
Yes.
Disneyland with your dad,
Wherever.
yes.
or wherever it is. What do you do?
Who's in it? Like your teammate?
Yeah, like a fight at practice.
You jump in
you
it,
know?
bro. You just try to.
At practice.
So if your dad
It's at
starts
practice.
brawling at Disneyland, what are you gonna do?
Offensive
Depends
line,
on how the brawl's-
defensive line getting a fight.
Yeah,
What
I'm
do you
trying
do?
to. You help out. You grab if somebody's involved in a certain way.
Are
that
you
you're,
stopping the fight or are you jumping in the fight to fight?
Depends on the type of fight. Like there's different levels of fighting. There's like the grab
It
fight.
involves you.
Hey,
It
If
doesn't.
it involves me,
No.
what did I do
The
to
fight
Cannon
didn't
when I got in a
start
fight
you,
with
but
Cannon?
Your really good friend is in the middle of the brawl, and the guy he's fighting says "F you" to you as well. Are you jumping in?
Of course, you're ripping their heads off.
okay.
Remember
But
when me
that's
and,
what we need
remember
to
me
know.
and Cannon got in a fight in practice?
What happened?
I flipped his ass on his head and his belly was out and his legs were kicking.
Don't remember that, but you said
I don't
describe.
remember
Well, Bill
that
came
either.
up to me
Describe the
afterwards.
fight
I
guy.
don't remember that either.
Well, you got in there.
He's
too much.
just
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
he would fight in that one, but he's
How
more,
about Wendell? Me and Wendell in OTAs, he like grabbed my beard. If you ever, because you had a long beard at one point, if you get this area of your beard pulled, it hurts bad. So he grabbed my shirt and he had my beard in there. So I was like, "Mother," and I punched him in like right here in the, because you don't want to hurt your hand. So you kind of like palm strike it, right? And then we started fighting. And Bill was like, "You two just go," and we started running.
I remember that.
And
Did you have to hold hands or something?
No, I was like, I'm not going to let a fat offensive lineman beat me on my sprint or on the field. So I took off and he was trying to, I could tell he was trying to like beat me. So I was booking it. Right. So we get back in like record time and Bill's like, "Go, just keep going." And I was like, shit, no, I just had to keep going. So then second lap around, beep, 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 2 minute. Rob, you're in. I was like, oh God, I was dying. And then we had to do 2 minute.
He got you.
Yeah.
Just put a side note on when a fight breaks out. He's DTF. A DTF guy.
I'm definitely.
Describe the fight guy. He's not just a run.
Describe the fight.
No, you got
Oh,
to feel
He
the
said
fight
describe
out.
the fight. I just want to.
You got to describe the. I mean,
You
it's
know,
just like a
Paige
wrestling
did
match.
say that before.
Don't worry,
He's
this is
DTF.
between us.
Paige has said
This
that
is between
before.
us, Ninko.
That he loves
we're just
describing
asking-
the fights
we're-
he gets in.
Yes, I love. Hey,
DTF.
we should get Paige on here. She'll describe a
So
lot.
next question.
Yeah,
What's the most you've ever benched?
It's probably right now.
455.
455. Big guy.
Strong guy. Strong.
455.
Strong.
It's on the wall. They probably took that down.
He might be a dog.
Wait, was that a record on the wall?
Yeah, it was on the.
Oh, record on
linebackers. Record on the wall.
Record on the wall.
Oh, record breaking.
Record.
Oh, Ninko.
PRs.
Yep.
PR guy. He looks like he's like a paper asshole. He's better on paper.
Yeah, he's
Oh, he's right there.
He's right
Should
there.
have
He's
said
right
that.
there.
Oh,
Shouldn't say that.
The next question. Have you ever been fined?
Yes.
Oh, and how much? And what was the reason?
15,000.
Yes.
A million.
15.
15,000 was.
15K.
I pushed Fitzpatrick and he flopped like a little punk, and I got the flag. So that was 15 grand.
No, is this the Fitzpatrick that went to Harvard?
Yes.
Okay, just make
Yes,
sure.
the real Ivy League.
Real
Pushed
Ivy
him and he
League.
did like the old man, like an old man gets pushed. They do like the and they fall back and like wave their arms.
Smart guy. He knows how to flop.
Yeah, he
No,
flopped.
he's smart.
So flag. That was the only flag I ever had. I had 2 flags in my career. Offsides once and that. That was it.
All right, we didn't ask that question, but
Sorry.
here
Just
we
let
asked
you know.
this one. What's your fastest 40 time?
Probably 4.8.
4.8?
4.8 guy.
4.8?
Yeah, 4.7 max.
I was
That's it.
thinking more like 4.9.
I was
Yeah.
thinking a 4.9 guy
Well,
too.
it's a
I
4.9.
think he's
I have this
patting it a
problem
little
with
bit.
time. I get real stiff. I like to anything that's timed.
What's
I
your
get
20
really
then?
stiff.
What was a 20?
I don't know. 1 something. I was real fast on the 10.
All right, we'll
yeah.
give him 4.8.
Yeah.
4.8.
4.8. Yeah. 4.869. Yeah.
There we go.
There it is.
4.869.
It's a little high.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. This guy he's funny.
Hey, what's my garage code?
I didn't know he was this. I mean, I read all his
I don't
chirps. I
know.
didn't realize he's this funny.
Yeah, in person as well.
Hey, wait till I get this episode. I'm gonna
Yeah.
chirp the shit out of him.
Okay, let's go.
He's gonna chirp himself. That's how
Hey.
much he loves chirping.
I mean, he
Hey,
chirps.
how about I pull up? What's,
Well, can
yeah,
we,
stop. We're
we
asking the
Oh,
questions,
you're asking.
buddy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what kind of guy you are.
all right, figure it out.
Oh, when was the last time you cried? This is really important.
This is
We
real.
need to know
last
this.
time I cried. The new Stitch movie. I took my kids.
Oh, Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, it was sad
All
at
right.
the end.
That's a good one.
The Stitch was dead, and then they
I was
resuscitated
fully
him.
banking. I was fully banking on a Remember the Titans marathon on TBS that he watched.
That doesn't get me. It's something.
But,
if anything does, like a kid losing something, and then they get emotional, it just brings me back to like
He's a good guy.
What
He has a heart.
what star recruit were you in high school?
3.5.
3.5.
There's no such thing.
I'd say 3.5. It was 3, but I like to put a half on it.
Oh, so it's
It was a 3-star. I'd like to say I was closer to 4.
a 3,
Three.
but he claims 3.
3.5.
3.5.
Yep, 3.5.
Fabricate.
It's 3.
Well, it's
3.5.
also could be comedic.
3.5.
Yeah.
Or in Rob's terms, 3.69.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
He's
There you go.
comedic.
Yeah, he is.
He's comedic.
yeah. He should be an actor.
He should.
These
He should,
impersonations,
yeah.
and
Hey,
impressions are
As
pretty
long as the
spot on.
prompter's up here, you guys would be
Prompter. I don't see no prompter. I'm looking at you.
You're looking at a sheet in front of you.
No, I'm just writing notes, buddy.
Oh,
Look
you're
at
writing
it.
notes.
Writing notes.
Did you not
about
hear
the
what we
answers,
said
dude.
before?
Oh, yeah.
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 Oh my gosh. All right. What's a first date look like for you?
First date.
I mean, it's been a while.
All right, so I'm going to tell you,
way
the
back
first
in the
thing you need to
heyday.
do on any girl that you want to be with,
Yes.
you got to go to an Italian spot and you got to get spaghetti, something that's messy. Because if you're with somebody that doesn't want to get down on it, it's not for you. Like, you got to have a good pasta dish, a good pasta dish. And if she eats it like, I don't like this, it's too messy, that's not for me. You got to have something that's just like Paige, for example.
Oh, let's
she's
hear this.
from New Orleans,
Yeah.
right? So like one of the first things that she took me to was like a crawfish boil, which is disgusting. Like, I'm not from New Orleans, but she was getting after them crawdads like crazy. So I was thinking to myself, not bad.
Well, do you consider yourself a crawdaddy?
So
I'm a,
Or are you a raw daddy?
I don't know, I got 3 kids. And then maybe, never mind. I shouldn't get into it.
So first date is Italian restaurant.
Italian
All
restaurant.
right.
And
Yeah.
like
Or-
talks on that.
What's that?
Do you talk on that date or just eating?
No, yeah,
and
you gotta talk.
evaluating?
It's all about conversations, Jules. It's about having deep conversations.
Conversation at
Depth.
Italian.
Remember depth?
a specific
It's about depth.
Italian restaurant, or,
I mean,
or is it just any
just
Italian?
any Italian, because there's so many Italian spots.
for
Like, you
depth.
know,
Alfredo?
I don't like Alfredo.
Oh
I'm not a
no,
big
Alfredo. He's a
guy.
red sauce guy.
Yeah,
Well,
red-
wouldn't
yes.
Paige like the Alfredo? Oh, the white
Paige
sauce?
she likes the light, like the you know, what's,
Yeah, how
the,
does she
what's
like
the
that?
chicken with the lemon? With the
Piccata?
Piccata.
Oh,
That's good stuff.
man, that's chicken.
You are
Piccata.
kind of like Picasso.
I'm kind of a little
He
bit.
is.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you like
We're
poop?
learning a lot about
We're
this
learning
guy.
a lot
I
about
thought I
this
knew him,
guy.
you know, after
What
playing
about
so
this
long with
one?
him.
What's the last book you read?
Last book I read, Thinner, on the air. I was flying back with the family. Thinner is a Stephen King novel, and it's about a man who hits a gypsy, right? And he's a fat guy. He's a lawyer, and he's kind of well-to-do guy in the town.
Yeah.
He's driving, and he's getting, head from his wife, and he hits her in the car, right? And she dies. Well, the gypsy's father, who is like 112, and the guy's like, how's he 112? Comes out of the courtroom. He gets no jail sentence, nothing. He touches him and says, Thinner, right? And then he starts to lose weight. And he's like, wow, I feel pretty good. I'm losing weight. And he keeps losing weight. He put a spell on him, and he's like literally rail thin. He's going to die. Like, everybody that was associated with it, the judge, the lawyer that helped him get out of it, they all died, right? One of them got like leprosy or like lizard or something. And he goes and he finds the gypsies because they're just wandering, right?
Wow. So
Wow. All right.
And
all
he
right.
gets the spell taken off of him.
One
But
follow-up,
listen, this is
one
the final.
follow-
Listen,
Let's
he
hear
has
it.
to feed somebody a pie that the spell is put into. So he takes the pie and he's going to feed it to his wife because he doesn't like his wife, right? Because he thinks she's cheating on him with the neighbor. But the wife eats it and the daughter. Sorry, I spoiled it for everybody.
all right, so I got a follow up.
Look at Gronk right now.
I'm amused.
Yeah,
I'm
wow.
amused. One final question to
Yes,
see what
come
type
on.
of dude you are, Ninko, and then Julian's going to ask the follow-up on it, okay?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Are you ready?
Let's see what he's got.
Scott.
How do you prepare your steak?
Medium. I'll say medium.
How do you eat your steak?
Depends on the situation. If it's at my house, if I'm grilling, I'll just cut a piece. I'll pull it off with the hands. It's fine. If you're in a nice setting, a restaurant, a business, whatever, you got to use the utensils.
So he's a describe the fight, describe the situation guy.
Everything is situational,
Mhm.
right?
Situational
What
guy.
situational
All right.
awareness, Jules?
So
All right.
Bill's still in your head. 'Cause
All right.
every
He's
day
in your
it was
head.
about
He's
situations.
in everyone's head.
So we got our questions.
All right.
Let us talk for a
We got to
talk
review.
a second.
We
Talk it
gotta
over.
review,
Talk it over.
okay,
Yeah.
Ninko?
I think
He's average.
Definitely.
Pretty
3-5.
Let's just say dog.
He thinks he knows
Give
everything.
him the dog.
So
thinks he
bad
knows
that I
everything.
don't think he might
He
not
really
be.
tries to act serious when there's cameras on.
Yeah, he's not like this. He's not like this when the camera's
Yeah,
on.
somebody's a
lightweight over there.
But he's messy though.
Big, kind of a hater.
Definitely is.
Oh, I have one more question.
Dude, the button came off.
If you
Yes.
had a sleeve of tattoos, do you think you would have got paid more?
I don't put tattoos on my body because
But I'm just saying, if you
Yeah.
Have you ever seen-
hypothetically speaking, if you had a sleeve of tattoos,
is that
would you-
sleeve black?
I'm just saying, if you had tattoos of a sleeve,
Any style of tattoos.
would you?
No. I wouldn't
You
do
even
it.
got paid more?
Would you have gotten
Okay.
paid more? If
That-
you
I don't think
had-
so. I don't think
if
so.
You had a sleeve.
I think if I had a sleeve, I
On-
would have been cut and then not brought back because I look like when I got injured and then I was a long snapper. How many long snappers have sleeves? Not many.
On 3, what is he? 1, 2, 3. Dude.
dude.
I'm definitely dudes. Dude.
He's a dude's
You
dude
are.
because usually the dude's dude has a positive attitude. But
I'm
with
very
Ninkovich,
positive.
you got to think outside the box.
You just don't know what he's going to bring to the
You
table.
don't
that
know what
day.
he's going to bring to the table. And he's a great person to have in the locker room for everyone to gang up on and
don't
make
know
fun
about
of
that.
together.
I don't know, but so you're a bully.
And then
so you're claiming bully.
When you do that, it brings the team together.
Okay.
And that's what Rob was a lot of the time.
so I was bullied by you.
I don't know if you were
No,
bullied, but
that's
you were,
not the
you were
word.
the end of the
No,
joke.
that's not the
bullying
word.
You were
in
the end of the joke most
is
of the time.
2025 a cool thing for
You were
bullies
end
or a
of the
bad
joke
thing for bullies?
most of the time.
You brought the locker room together.
That's what we're trying
You
to
should
say.
be
You're
proud
dudes,
of it.
dude. You should
Yeah.
be very
Dudes,
proud.
dude. I think that if you
I-
were bullied by your friends, that means that they really like you. And if you're
You
not,
see,
that means they don't
There's
like
a
you.
dude, a
Now you're
positive way
understanding
of
it now.
being
See,
bullied.
you gotta
See?
flip
And
that.
that's what he is.
Flip
He's
He
the
a
was
dude.
negative in ways, but it always turned out to be positive.
It's like 8 Mile, bro. Got to flip the script.
And he is 8 Mile.
We really
right.
wanted you to be a dog, but like
Spaghetti on his sweater already.
just
Oh, no,
wow.
This guy has one beer and he's already dropping
Yeah.
rhymes.
No,
I mean-
I didn't make that. That
and
was wrong. I
lightweight.
think that was.
And that was
Mom
the
spaghetti.
chillest dude of the week.
It was chill.
Thanks
It
to our
really was.
favorite beer, Coors Light. Get
Coors
Coors Light
Light.
delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/dudes and celebrate responsibly.
Do they make these in no alcohol? Cheers.
Cheers.
Rob, any final
think so.
words for being our second guest?
No,
of
thanks
all
for
time
having me.
on Dudes on
Uh,
Dudes?
this
We
was really
appreciate
fun.
you
I
big
feel
time.
blessed to be here. I really do. You guys are just, so good at what you do. You guys are icons in the podcast game. and I can't wait for the next event. Tomorrow is going to be fun. We're doing the pickleball.
Pickleball.
Right? We're going to
Yep.
do a pickleball event.
Charity. It's for the kids, Ninko.
I did a ping pong event. Remember that? That's
Ping
when
pong?
I had your dip juice in a
Probably.
fresh Fiji water, and I downed it because I was super hot, and I just almost threw up instantly. But
Like
I
I
took it like a
said,
champ. I took it like a champ.
the end of a joke most of the time. And that, we love you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
This guy could set the
Thanks.
edge.
Hold on, let me
We
sit
always
like
make
Jules.
fun
Can I
of
sit
him.
like Jules for a second?
You can set the edge.
Dude,
No
do you
doubt
not
about
have
that.
that hip?
No, I
Like,
gotta have
does
this
it not-
ball out.
I don't have balls down there.
Bubble. The
I
little.
put them up.
Oh, you put them up.
Look at
Oh,
those
you tuck them.
thighs.
Yeah,
you
I
tuck
tuck 'em.
them.
That's
I
why I
have
the
couldn't
thighs are
move you.
pretty big. Yeah.
That ass.
Yeah.
Those thighs.
It's a big thigh there.
Those calves.
The calves
You
are big.
just
I got cankles.
You just big boned.
You're
you just
big.
have
They call
so much muscle
yeah,
on you.
Thanks for bullying
You're-
me some more.
Yeah.
So you're calling me fat now in 25?
No, yo, you're chunky.
We're calling you
No,
two
I'll
C
never
thick.
call you
Chunky,
fat.
chunky.
You're thick
chunky.
with 2 C's.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
Like you're so thick that
Oh.
no one could ever get the edge on you
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
because you set the edge. Swipe, swipe
Yeah.
down the hallway. Swipe, swipe.
Swipe, swipe.
He pounds that edge.
Do you not? Do you still swipe, swipe?
I get swiped away from Paige.
But do you not? Every once in a while, do you swipe,
Like
swipe?
this,
Your
it's swipe
Do
this
you
way
swipe,
now.
swipe Everett once in a while?
I need to get Everett dialed in on the swipes.
We got to swipe.
We got a swiper.
Well, this was really
it
fun,
was a good time.
and that's been another episode of Dudes on Dudes.
It's a wrap. Wrap it up.
Thank you to Rob
Unlike Jules.
Ninkovich for joining us today. We knew it would be a comedy special.
It sure was.
And subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Comment a dude you want us to do. And remember, rate
That's
and review.
Suspect.
Call in and ask us a question on the chill line at 561-203-5789. And remember to follow Dudes on Dudes on YouTube, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. We will see you all next week. And once again, Rob Ninkovich, thank you very much for
See you
coming
guys.
in and hanging out and being the awesome man that you are, brother.
Thank you.
Dudes on Dudes is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.